What's up, my friends? I've got a quick question for you. Are you maximizing everything you can in your business right now? Are you setting yourself up for huge success, not just financially, but a legacy type of success in your business? Are you establishing the market? Are you doing what it takes in order to not just build a financial foundation for yourself, for your family, and for the people that you're here to serve, but more importantly, are you establishing the standard by which everybody else will follow? I'm going to talk to you about those specific things and 5 things you must be doing in your business right now. I'm going to use an analogy from a quote unquote overpaid pro athlete on today's episode of the Daily Dose of Awesome. Hello, my friends. JT DeBolt with you today. Grateful as always to have this opportunity and privilege to come at you here on the Daily Dose. As you're jumping out, let me know where you're tuning in from. And as you do, let me say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time it is for you, no matter where you might be tuning in from on the Big Blue Marble. Thanks for joining us here each and every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern for your 15 minutes of inspiration, education, and motivation to help you get your day started off right. It has been a while, my friends, since I have been out here on the Daily Dose, so it's a really awesome opportunity. Frankly, I was very excited when I popped out of bed early this morning. I couldn't wait to get out here and go live with you guys. So I'm grateful for you guys to be out here. Let me say hello to my friends. What's up? Tim Graff in the house. Aaron Irway, what's going on? Good to see you. Fran Lobster, Zoe Effa. Hey, good to see you. Stacy, wow, Stacy, you got a long name. I'm just going to say hi to you. Debbie Dunford, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you as well. Let's see if I can maximize my screen here. Good to see you guys. Lots of folks jumping out here. As always, a privilege and an honor to be with you. So you might be thinking to yourself, wow, dude, back off with the Seahawks gear. Got all my Seahawks stuff on. What's going on here? And if you read the description of today's Daily Dose, I was going to talk to you today about the lessons from a quote-unquote overpaid athlete. Yesterday, last night, about midnight, actually, I guess it was midnight Tuesday night or whenever it was, Monday night, midnight Monday night, the Seattle Seahawks, my favorite football team in the entire world, signed our franchise quarterback, Russell Wilson, to a 4-year, $140 million contract, making him the highest paid athlete ever in the history of the National Football League, our United States professional football. So he's the highest paid player at any position ever in the history of the game. Now, here's something interesting you need to know. Russell Wilson is on his second contract. He's played professional football for 7 years. He's 5 foot 10 inches and a few, just under 5 foot 11 inches, which is very, very short by the standards of an NFL quarterback. When he came out of the NFL, he was a 3rd-round draft pick, so he was not the #1 guy taken. He wasn't one of these people that was touted as this big talent. In fact, he was overlooked by most people. Every single team passed him over at least twice. The Seahawks picked him up in the 3rd round, and he has gone on to play every single game in his career. He has never missed a start. He's never missed a game. He's only missed 2 snaps. He hurt his knee one time. They had to pull him out of the game, put a knee brace on him, and put him back in the game. So he's only missed 2 plays in his entire career in 7 years. He's never missed a practice. He's never taken a day off. In fact, in some cases, when they give the team days off, he's in the team facility studying game film and working on his craft. And so I say all of this because yesterday, when the announcement was made that he had signed this huge lucrative contract, people lost their freaking minds. They were talking about how he's overpaid and how he's not worth this and how it's too much money and how all of that money could go to other things. There's bigger problems in the world. You've probably heard this, and by no means am I here to counteract any of those arguments. Certainly there's a lot of things going on in the world, and perhaps we overemphasize or overvalue entertainment and sports. That's a debate for another conversation. What I want to talk to you today about is what you can learn from this transaction that happened with Russell Wilson being the highest paid football player in professional football. We're going to talk about how it directly impacts your business. If you are familiar with sports, let me ask this. If you're a sports fan, you watch sports and you get the idea that, hey, professional athletes are going to get paid just like actors do, just like musicians do. They're going to get paid what feels like a disproportionate amount of money. If you understand that that's kind of part of the economics, give me a 1 in the chat box. I want to see how many folks are out there. What's up, Chuck? Good to see you, my friend. Alicia Holland in the house from Tennessee. Lindsay Bradbury coming in from Canada. Good to see you, Lindsay. Let's see. Mel Raposo says, haters will be haters. Let haters be your motivation. Actually, that's a great point, Mel. I'm going to get to that here in just a second. Isabel says, get some Russell Wilson. Finally, hashtag go Seahawks. Yes, ma'am. Terry Fuji in the house from Hawaii. Okay, so lots of folks dialing one in. And what I asked was, hey, if you understand that there's a different economics involved with professional sports, professional music, professional anything where there's an entertainment, we as a human race, all right, not just the Western world, but we as a human race have a tendency to put a huge premium on entertainment. And you can argue it left and right. You can give your philosophy. You can say, oh, that's because we want to be, we want to be distracted. We want to have our pain taken away. It doesn't matter. The point that I want to get to here is there's a very valuable lesson. In fact, 5 valuable lessons you can learn about how this translates to your business. A couple things you need to understand that are very key and essential. I've already talked about it. This is the highest paid contract ever. And when people look at this, they go, well, it's not fair. They talk about how it's too much money and all of the things that go into it. But let's take a look at how it actually directly translates into your business. And if you're dialing a 1 in here, I appreciate you guys. The first thing is that Russell Wilson went out there and developed his skill set. He spent his entire life learning how to be a professional quarterback. Even when he was in high school, even when he was in junior high, his parents and him, they were investing money in him to go to these camps every single summer. In business, if you're not investing in your skill set, I'm not just talking about your mindset. Your mindset's extremely important. Here's the thing. A lot of times what people say to me, entrepreneurs, they come to us to the workshops or I talk to them on strategy calls and they say, I don't need mindset. And I'm thinking, man, you have got this thing totally twisted and upside down. You have to be working on your development, your personal development, your psychological development, as much as your skill development. The key thing you'll find about Russell Wilson, just like anybody who gets paid the premium amounts in any industry, any profession, is that they have a different way of thinking, a different mindset. Their mind models are completely different than the person that's just plodding along. I was seeing a lot of comments in these threads yesterday talking about how Russell Wilson was overpaid. And what's interesting is this was coming from entrepreneurs and business owners. Now I ask you, if somebody came up to you in your industry here in attraction marketing as an attraction marketer and said, I'm going to make you the highest paid person, would you turn your back on that money? Would you? It's a simple question. If you would turn your back, then say yes. If you would turn your back on being the highest paid person in internet business, online marketing, attraction marketing, if you'd be the highest paid attraction marketer in the world and you'd say, nope, I don't want that, then I want you to say yes in the chat box. Yes, I would turn my back on the money. If on the other hand, if somebody were to say to you, hey, we're going to make you the highest paid person in the history of online marketing, attraction marketing, network marketing, if you would take that, give me a thumbs up in the chat box. I'm just curious. I just want to see. Because I'm trying to get gauged here, right? All these people are saying no way they wouldn't turn their back on it. Of course not. Of course you wouldn't. No, do you really expect Russell Wilson to go, you know what, dude? I don't want the money. He worked his butt off to develop the skill set, but he also had the mentality to know what his worth was. This is lesson number 1. If you want to be the highest paid anything, I don't care if you're the highest paid janitor or the highest paid quarterback. I don't care if you're the highest paid astronaut or the highest paid attraction marketer. You have to first and foremost not just believe that you deserve it. There's a lot of people that are like, well, I believe I deserve it. It's not about deservability. It's about, have you earned it? Have you earned your stripes? Do you have the ability to back up what you're asking for? Now think about this. There's a lot of people out there building their business online, using what we teach here at EMP with the Attraction Marketing Formulas and things that actually help people. It doesn't matter whether it's a brick and mortar business, a network marketing business, or you're out there as an affiliate for EMP. If you're employing what we teach you and you're using the EMP methods to almost serve as like training wheels for your business, there is literally no reason you shouldn't be making the kind of money you want to make. Period. End of story. Now, that's not a judgment, okay? And I don't want you to judge yourself or beat yourself up and say, well, I'm not making the kind of money I want to make. There must be something wrong with me. Understand this. The day Russell Wilson woke up and said, I want to be a professional quarterback was not the day he got paid. The day he signed a contract to become an actual quarterback, an NFL quarterback, he didn't get paid. He was playing for the league minimum at that point. He was getting paid, which is still a lot of money, a multiple six-figure income right out of college. Not bad for a kid right out of college, right? 23 years old. But here's the deal. The first day he stepped on the field, he wasn't getting paid the big bucks relative to his industry. So right now, if you're not getting paid the big bucks, understand that it's not a question of whether you deserve it. It's a question of, do your skill sets match the income you're looking for? Russell Wilson busted his butt just like a lot of top pros, and I know there's a lot of folks out there that are going to go, he's not the best quarterback, Tom Brady, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that crap, all right? Don't lose focus on the point. The point is that this dude busted his hump, came into work literally every single day, including the days that most of us take off, holidays, vacations, birthdays, you name it, and was busting his hump to become the best, highest paid athlete in the game. As an attraction marketer, as an entrepreneur, you can have this exact same behavior. Does it mean that you're going to have to give up certain things? Perhaps. Does it mean that you're going to have to compromise your comfort? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. When you don't feel like it, when you're tired, when you're sad, when you're broke, when you're upset, when people tell you you can't do it, that's the time you got to lean into it. That's the time when you have to absolutely uncompromisingly say, forget this, I'm moving forward. Maybe you have to go back through a training. Maybe you have to schedule that strategy call with your mentor. Maybe it's time to book the flight and actually get to the workshop, or book the flight and actually get to no excuses so you can develop the skill sets. But at the end of the day, the same thing that worked for Russell Wilson to make him the highest paid athlete in the history of the NFL is the exact same thing that can help you become the highest paid ever in business, as an entrepreneur, as an attraction marketer, whatever you want to be called. It's the same thing. You do not have to be a superstar athlete in order to get paid big bucks. By the way, I want to make a caveat to this. If you're a person that goes, dude, money's not important to me as an entrepreneur, it might be time for you to calibrate your expectations about business. I'm not saying it has to be the number one most important thing to you. In fact, I would caution you if you say that money is the most important thing to you in business. However, for those folks that go, money's not important to me, and you call yourself an entrepreneur, be very, very careful. That's like an athlete saying, you know what, speed and strength isn't very important to me. It's always important. It's a metric by which we measure business. Just like an athlete is measured by how fast and how strong they are, an entrepreneur in a business, the health of the business, is measured by their capacity to create income and to drive revenue. So you have to have some measure of focus on that. It doesn't mean that it has to be the be all end all. Let's worship it like some sort of a deity. It just means you got to have a focus on it. All right. Now, if this is making sense to you, give me a 2 in the chat box. If you're with me on this, if you're saying, dude, I get you, brother. You know, I understand money's not the be all end all, but it's certainly an important metric for business. I want to know that you got a 2 in here. Aaron says, hey, do your skill sets match the income you want to make it? That's true. And of course, that's what I said before. But here's the thing is Aaron gets it. And the only point I'm trying to make is if you have a certain level, you're like, hey, I want to make a 6-figure income. Ask yourself the question, do I have a 6-figure level skill set? Do I have a 6-figure level, kind of mindset towards business, a belief about money, a belief about business that matches a 6-figure level of performance? If the answer is no, what might you do? You might need to go back and work on your money mindset. You might need to go back and work on your skill set, your copywriting, your sales presentation, whatever it looks like, whatever that hang up is, that's what you have to do. You have to develop those skill sets. And I see lots of folks in here dialing 2s in, which is awesome. Love you guys. I appreciate that. And for those of you that disagree with me, totally cool. I get you. I'm just saying, I want to see the people that are with this, that are getting it. Because number 2, if you're dialing a 2 and that tells me you get, hey, listen, I've got to be able to develop the skill sets and the belief system in order to make this happen. Now, the second piece that goes into play, and I've already kind of alluded to this when it came to Russell Wilson, is number 2 is you got to do the work. Russell shows up every single day. Guys, you can't say this about Tom Brady. Tom Brady has missed an entire season due to a knee injury. It wasn't his fault, but I hear this all the time. Tom Brady's the greatest, and perhaps he is. And they go, well, he's nowhere, Russell Wilson's nowhere near Tom Brady or any of these other guys. Listen, no player in the first 7 years of their career has won more games than Russell Wilson. Period, end of story. They haven't played in as many games. He showed up and played in every single game, showed up to every single practice, showed up on days when nobody else showed up. You have to do the work. And here's the deal. It's super easy to say, you know what? It's Sunday. It's my day off. Or it's Friday, I'm going to go into cruise control. I don't feel like doing it today. I got denied. My Facebook ad account got shut down. I'm just going to pump the brakes on this. I'm going to sit on the couch. I'm going to recalibrate. Nothing wrong with that. But what I'm telling you is when you don't do the work, that's a day lost. That's a day that you get to step back in line and let somebody else get cut in front of you. If you want to be the best, the highest paid, or whatever it is, if you want to elevate your game to the best that you can, I'm not talking about the best according to everybody else. We're using Russell Wilson as an example, as a metaphor. What I'm talking about with you is if you want to be your best, taking a day off is only delaying the inevitable excellence that you're here to build. But listen, you can wait, and a lot of people do this. People ask me, they go, well, I've been in the program for 6 months. I kind of pumped it on, put it on cruise control for a while. Can I make up lost ground? The answer is no, you cannot. It doesn't matter how many days you go and you say, hey, I'm going to try to make up for this. You can't make up for lost time. What you can do, though, is you can break the inertia. You can stop the procrastination. You can step into it. You can flip the camera on and go live and share your story and ask for the sale. You can start building your audience. You can start gaining that attraction from the people that you want to have in your industry, your target audience. You can start getting their attention. You can start doing the work that it takes in order to be that person that gets elevated, right? If you want to be the best known or the greatest or whatever it is, that's fantastic. Go make it happen. And if you say, listen, dude, I just want to be the best version of myself, even better. But you have to do the work. You have to do it on a daily basis, not 3 days a week. And if all you got is an hour a day, then work on your 1 hour that you got. But listen, my friends, you've got more time than you think you do. There is always time to work on your business. There's always time to work on yourself. There's always time to work on being the best version of yourself, period, end of story. It's not a part-time gig. You got one shot at this thing called life. And the beautiful thing about kind of doing online businesses is you don't have to have a business degree. You don't have to be you don't even have to have graduated high school, for crying out loud. You don't have to have, you don't have to be super savvy at business. You don't have to be super savvy at anything. Every skill set you need to develop, like we were talking about a minute ago, is available to you in your freaking back office. That's how great it is. And I'm just trying to sit here and tell you that EMP is the be all end all. It's the freaking lifeboat. And if you're out there stranded in the sea of mediocrity or the sea of frustration in your business, then stop swimming away from the boat and get in the boat. That's what I'm talking about. But you've got to do the work for yourself. There's only so much your mentors, there's only so much even I could do for you coming out here on this daily dose. The point is that just as Russell Wilson worked himself up from obscurity, people overlooking him, telling him he's too short, he's too slow, he's not fast enough, he's not big enough, to becoming the best, the highest paid athlete in the game is because he did the work. It's the same for you. If people are overlooking you, taking you for granted, laughing at your dream, use that as fuel. Use it as leverage to get yourself to that next rung on the ladder, and then pull yourself up to that rung and grab the next one and the next one and the next one until pretty soon you're at the top of the ladder, whatever your top of the ladder looks like, however you define it. Now, if this is resonating with you, give me a 3 in the chat box. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, let me know by putting a 3 in the chat box. Mel says, entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. Amen, brother. In fact, I will double down on that. I'll say it's not just a financial risk. It's a risk of your reputation. It's a risk of your well-being. It might even be a risk of your friggin' sanity, right, Mel? And the whole point to this is, dude, that's right. Entrepreneurs are risk takers, and that's freaky. That's weird to the normal people out there in society. They don't get that, right? Just like these people that were saying, hey, he's overpaid, he doesn't deserve that kind of money, have an employee mindset. In fact, it's not just an employee mindset, it's a freaking minimum wage mindset. I look at somebody like Russell Wilson, I'm like, that's the coolest thing ever. And I'm going to talk about the importance of that in just 2 seconds. Okay, lots of folks dialing this stuff in. I love it. You guys are amazing. Appreciate you. Jesse, what's happening, homeboy? Good to see you, my friend. Now listen, here's the other part about this. The thing that Russell Wilson has done amazingly well is he has ignored the noise. And that's the third thing you guys got to be able to do in your business is ignore the noise. There's going to be a lot of bullshit that comes your way. Excuse my language. There's going to be a lot of people that are telling you it can't be done. It shouldn't be done. This is a scam. This, that, and the other thing. You're going to have the skill set and the discipline to block that crap out. This is your life, not theirs. Do not allow somebody who cannot tell you how you should do what you're doing. They can't do it. Otherwise, they'd be doing it. In fact, the people that are serving to be the haters, the disrespecters, the naysayers, the people that are telling you all the things that are wrong with it and filling your head full of doubt are the people that aren't working at it. They might be working at something else. They might be having a great job working somewhere else for somebody else, but they don't have the capacity, likely, to be an entrepreneur, or they haven't learned to find that capacity in themselves. So stop listening to that crap. Listen to the people that are doing it, because the people that are kicking ass will never tell you it can't be done. The people that are at or above your skill level are not going to knock you down. And if they do, that's an insecurity on their part. Get rid of them. Start surrounding yourself with the people that get it. Ignore the freaking noise. And that's something Russell Wilson's done an amazing job. Lots of people dialing threes in here. I freaking love it. This is awesome. Richard and Joanna go, yeah, man, earplugs. Exactly. Either literally, you might literally need earplugs, or a metaphorical earplug where you're only blocking in, you're filtering in the noise that you need to hear. Now, does this sound like you're closed-minded? Does this sound like you're coming from a place of, hey, I'm only going to hear what I want to hear? Well, maybe that's what you need, especially in the beginning phases of building a business. Here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to knock you down as you start to get bigger, as you start to build an audience, as you start to get out there and start to share your spark, right? As you start to share your brightness, your greatness. There are going to be people that you know right now, maybe even people close to you. I know this has happened to me. People I loved, respected, people I served combat tours with would tell me what a joke I am. Ooh, who do you think you are, the next Tony Robbins? Hell no, I don't think I'm the next Tony Robbins. I think I'm the one and only JT freaking DeBolt. And you have to have that same attitude about yourself. You have to understand when people succeed, it's about their success. It's about the work they put into it. It's about the effort, but it's also about the risk, just like Mel was talking about. Get used to it, my friends. Being an entrepreneur is an absolute risk. And that brings me to number 4. The number 4 point that Russell Wilson did is he celebrated others, but he focused on himself. Anytime somebody else got paid big bucks, you'd see him tweet and say, hey, congratulations, big boy, you deserve that. So when you see somebody on social and they're talking about their success, they brought in somebody, or they get elevated, or they walk across the stage, they get recognized at their company event, celebrate that shit. Go up there and give them a high five, give them a pat, give them a hug, tell them how much you appreciate the work and the discipline that they must have put into it. And tell them how much you appreciate the example that they're setting for the world or setting for the industry. Appreciate them, and then turn around and focus on yourself. Ask yourself, what might I have to do in order to follow in their footsteps or create my own path of footsteps? What must I do right here, right now, with my skill sets, with my work ethic, with my focus, focusing on my own path? What must I do in order to get to that next level? That's how it's done. That's how the top people in any industry, whether it's sports or business, get where they're going. They do not diminish somebody else's success. And I see this a lot. And frankly, like I said before, that's not just the sign of an employee mindset. And there's nothing wrong with employees. I love employees, and there's a very important place for them in the world, but it's a different kind of mindset. It won't work in business, guys. It simply won't. But more dangerous than just the employee mindset is the minimum wage mindset, where we diminish other people because of their success. We tell them it's not fair. They're greedy. They shouldn't have that kind of money. What would they need it for? Well, what if we gave that money to somebody else? Listen, it's not our money to judge. The Seattle Seahawks paid him. I didn't pay him. It didn't come out of your account. It didn't come out of my account. It came out of the Seattle Seahawks pay account, or bank account. So let's stop hating on people when they succeed. They earned the money, and you all know what I'm talking about. You've probably either seen this or maybe even had it directed to yourself. There's some kick-ass people on this thread right now. Some people, if I call them out, I'm not going to do that, but if I call them out, they are top earners, 6-figure, 7-figure earners in their business. And I know you guys have all had some hater at some point try to hit you up with how much money you've made and how it's not right and you're a cheater and you're a scammer and all this BS. Here's the simple reality. Start celebrating other people. When you see them succeed, pull back and ask yourself, what is it they must have done? Not just the tactical side. Stop asking for their scripts. Stop asking for their blueprints. Ask them, what is it you had to do? How did you have to change your behavior? How did you have to change the way you looked at yourself and business? And how did you have to change yourself and how you look at the world in order to get where you're at? That's a deeper question, a much more effective question. And here's the last piece I'm going to leave with you. Number 5, the difference between you and Russell Wilson a guy who just got paid $140 million for 4 years, is he's operating with a salary cap, which means the team can only pay him so much money. There's a rule in the National Football League that says every team has a certain amount of money to spend. There is no salary cap for you. Think about that. If you applied yourself, if you focused, if you built the skill sets, you could technically make more money than the highest paid person in any industry. There is no salary cap for you or anybody else in this industry. So if you want to make that kind of money, or if you just want to make a little bit for yourself, that's fine. You get to set the salary cap. You get to decide. And you have the power right here, right now, to write that check to yourself, that blank check for as much money as you want to make in the course of a year or a transaction or whatever it looks like. You get to decide, not some entity, not the National Football League who says you can only make this kind of money. This is the beauty about being an entrepreneur, my friend. You get to decide what your salary cap is. So what is it going to be? What's your cap going to be? Maybe it's zero. Maybe there is no salary cap. And maybe all of your money is 100% guaranteed, like only a portion of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's guaranteed money was only $65 million. You're like, only $65 million. But yeah, look, out of that 140, only 65 is guaranteed. That other stuff is going to come if he performs at a certain level. You get to decide what you get paid guaranteed. It's entirely up to you. You have the power. That's what's so great about being an entrepreneur, man, especially this day and age. You have so many resources available to you and absolutely the world wide open. So it's up to you right here, right now, today. What is it you're going to do with your capability? What is it you're going to do with your skill set? What are you going to do with your creativity, that amazing mind that you have? Are you going to open it up? Are you going to expand it? And are you going to share it with the world? Or are you going to play small? It's entirely up to you. But remember this, there is no salary cap for you. There never will be. So get out there and make it happen. Listen, if today's message worked for you, if it landed for you on any level, give me a 5 in the chat box. I want to know that you guys are catching this. If it worked for you, great. If it didn't, then hit me up personally and tell me, hey, dude, I didn't really appreciate it, and here's what's going on. And if it's worth it, having a dialogue, I'll have that dialogue with you. But here's the thing. I want to make sure you guys understand you are very powerful people. You don't have to be a superstar athlete getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars to play a game. You can get paid whatever you decide you want to get paid, whether it's hundreds of millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands or just $100. You get to decide. That's pretty powerful. And the most important thing is you don't have to go through all of this stuff of building muscle and training and speed, getting your speed checked and your body fat checked and all that other crap. You just have to work on the skill sets that are applicable to the financial outcome that you want. Build the skill sets, the money will come. Do the time and the money will come. Be patient, be focused, celebrate others, but stay focused on yourself. And remember, there is no salary cap for you, my friends. All right, lots of 5s coming in. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Always a privilege and an honor. I appreciate you guys coming out here. And remember, we do this every single Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. We call it the Daily Dose of Awesome. We think you're awesome, and we appreciate each and every single one of you. If you got some value from this and you think somebody needs to hear it, go ahead and share it, and come back here again tomorrow, where we're going to have another awesome mentor talking to you on the Elite Marketing Pro Daily Dose of Awesome. Until then, my friends, remember, no matter what course you fly in life, fly high, fly fast, and fly far. We'll see you guys soon.